first because he's a hard act to follow for the speech, but I'll do my best. So on behalf of myself and the men and women of the Houston Police Department, our sincerest condolences to the shooting victims, their families, the Dallas Police Department, the Dallas DART, and of course the city of Dallas. Let me begin by saying that Houston is a great city. Our philosophy is community policing. It's not a program for us. It's our foundation for how we police and how we see ourselves as public servants. So our goal is to work with the community we serve to keep our city safe. We cannot be successful without the assistance of various leaders, various faith groups, various organizations, and of course the people who live in our city. That said, we have marches, protests, and events every day. HPD has always promoted the constitutional right to gather, to protest, to express opinions. Our events have been successful because we have always understood that it's about communication with various organizers and espousing mutual respect. But I do not believe that the violence in Dallas was about the constitutional right to protest. It was a horrific act of murder, plain and simple. I have also heard discussions of us versus them. There is no place for that attitude, either here in this city, with our police officers, or with our community. Today I have prayed with preachers. I have received condolences from various community members, city leaders, and have had our officers reaching out to Dallas police officers. I'm very, very proud of our city's response to the events in Dallas. I have asked my officers to be vigilant, to be alert, and to take the precautions that they need to keep themselves and their fellow officers safe. While the Dallas incident is likely isolated, as law enforcement, we should always conduct ourselves professionally and conduct our business safely. I ask the public to continue to keep Dallas Police Department, DART, in their prayers, and to also keep our officers here in their thoughts and prayers. We cannot allow hatred to define us. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you have any questions, we'll take any questions you may have at this time.
Chief Montalvo, can you tell us, are you changing the way you do anything in light of what happened in Dallas? How are you handling it?
Well, everything we do, I can't say that we're not going to change. Everything we do is based on intelligence and information that we get from the community members. We've always had great communications, open communications with various groups, and we will continue to do that unless we get information otherwise. I have asked our officers if they feel the need to ride with other officers, that's fine. We'll get through this together.
Is HPD assisting Dallas PD in any way?
They have, we have reached out to them, and they have asked for us to send some psychologists. They've asked us to stand down for the time being, but we believe we'll be sending them sometime in the near future.
You mean like patrol officers?
No, psychologists.
Psychologists, okay.
Chief, you said that officers may ride together if they wish. Are you mandating any kind of two-person cars, or are you still allowing one-person
I'm leaving that up to
patrols?
the individual officers and their divisional commanders. It's whatever they feel safe in doing at this time. I understand, their concerns, and so I want to allow them that option.
Since you implemented that, how many officers have taken advantage of the two-officer patrol, and what effect does that have, if any, on responses across the city?
I'm not sure. I do not know the number of how many are actually two-man units. It has not affected the response time, especially for Code 1 emergency. Now, it may have some effect in some of our lesser type of calls, but it's not affecting our emergency calls.
Chief, has HPD implemented any additional precautions in light of the Dallas shooting, and if so, what are those precautions and how long might they last?
We've sent out alerts in terms of to be vigilant, to be alert. Actually, I'm also stressing that they use their vest their bulletproof vests, and to just be vigilant. I mean, these type of situations, you know, I don't care how prepared we are, how much training we have, they happen.
And do you believe that HPD has been able to develop trust in minority communities given the fact that a disproportionate number of minorities have been shot by officers, including many who were unarmed recently, not necessarily in Houston, of course?
As I stated, we're very blessed. I meet with various community organizations, groups, at least on a quarterly basis. I go out to the different community meetings. I know that my officers, a lot of them have very deep relationships with a lot of people in the community. And I think we've been very fortunate in the city. And part of that is the fact that we espouse community policing. And what that means to us is forming relationships. And with relationships comes trust.
And looking ahead to the Super Bowl that's upcoming, is HPD implementing any additional training for protests, crowd control, large group events, and are you considering updating any training policies geared toward those events?
Well, I'd rather not speak specifically on what we're doing, but we are working to make sure that we're 100% prepared for the Super Bowl. And it's not just the Houston Police Department. We're also working with our other law enforcement agencies as well as our federal partners. But there's a lot of things that we do in preparation for such a large event.